close your eyes. No, don't. Because you've probably only slept for 2 hours, and if you close those eyes now, you might never open them again. Your surroundings aren't echoing with birdsong or a peaceful silence, but with a 120 decibel phone blaring like a nuclear power plant alarm. You're not in Miami. You're in a 2 square meter dressing room that smells of cheap coffee and antiseptic. Today, you aren't just a human. You are a white-coated demigod, a 24-hour survival machine, a professional snob fixer. Today, you will hold a beating heart in your hands, deal with patients who mistake Google for a medical degree, and try not to faint from exhaustion in the middle of surgery. But before we dive full throttle into this chaos, we're going to talk about that small but horrific mistake every doctor makes at least once in their career. The one that can end your journey before lunch even hits. I'll tell you what that catastrophe is at the end of the video, so stay tuned and keep watching. And vote in the comments for which profession you'd like to see in the next video. Welcome to the doctor world. Little Jester. Just like those ambitious megalodon pups that start eating each other in the womb before they're even born, your education was a pure survival of the fittest drama. You spent 6 long years in a dark cave shaped like a library, feeding only on instant noodles, cold tea, and the tears of failed exams. But finally, you cracked that calcium-rich shell and hatched. Congratulations, you are now an intern. In the wild, we call this the buffoonery period. You have a white coat, a cool stethoscope around your neck, but you don't have the slightest clue what to do or where to go. Your mother in this world, your mentor, is the chief resident. And just like an anaconda, they aren't exactly nurturing. They drop you right into the heart of the ER chaos and vanish. Your first mission is simply to survive. Forget Latin terms, you need to learn hospital speak. When someone screams code blue and it's not a birthday celebration, it's a life or death sprint. You're like a cheetah on the savannah. You have to go from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, but you're not chasing a gazelle, you're chasing a stretcher. Before we shift gears, let's look at your prime features and gear. Every predator has its tools. Yours are pretty slick. First, the white coat. This is your natural armor. Like the honey badger's famous 6mm skin, it protects you from the brushes of your superiors, the judgmental glares of nurses, and every kind of body fluid a patient might spray on you. Second, the stethoscope. This is your electrolocation, just like a platypus. You hear secret frequencies that normal jesters can't. The rhythmic thumping of a heart, the whistling of lungs, or the suspicious lies of a patient claiming to be a social drinker once a week. Third, doctor's handwriting. This is your species' greatest secret, the hidden code. It's like an orca dialect that only those of your family, the pharmacists, can understand. To a normal human, that prescription looks like a spider having a stroke in a bowl of ink while dancing on paper. Finally, endothermy. This is your ability to generate your own heat. Like killer whales, you can balance your body temperature for 12 hours in the ice-cold, sterilized air of the operating room. But remember, even if you feel like you're at the top of the food chain, you're actually just a lone wolf in a pack. There are the alphas, department chairs, the betas, specialists, and then there's you, the jester doing all the endless paperwork and grunt work. It's 10 a.m. Time for rounds. Like a Komodo dragon, you slowly patrol the beds in your territory. At this stage, you must have an opportunistic feeding style. You see a patient, analyze the symptoms like a predator, and strike with the right diagnosis. But wait, what's this? You're facing one of the toughest catches in this geography, the Uncle Snob. He's 70 years old, has likely smoked 2 packs a day since the Stone Age, and swears that his severe chest pain is just from the spicy food he ate last night. You try to explain the rules of medicine and biology, but he looks at you as if you're just a buffoon. This is where your venom comes in. That calm but ice-cold, authoritative doctor's consultation voice. You politely explain that if he doesn't take those meds, he'll be visiting God much sooner than planned. Then there's the internet researcher type, the one who spent 3 hours on forums and is now certain they've contracted a rare tropical disease, only seen in the Amazon and extinct for 1,000 years. With the patience of a honey badger, you listen and write them a medical prescription for "calm down, champ." Suddenly, your pager shrieks. This is your true prime time moment. You go to wash your hands, the water is cold, the soap is harsh enough to burn your skin, and you are about to enter the deep ocean, the operating room. The moment you step inside, you're like a Spinosaurus. You are the undisputed lord of this swamp, this water. A whole team of nurses, anesthesiologists, and assistants is waiting for you. It's like an anaconda breeding ball. Massive activity. But here, no one is looking for a mate. Everyone is looking for a scalpel or a cautery tool. The stakes are higher than a 7-story building. You are managing a delicate surgical operation. Your hands must be as steady and determined as a cheetah's gaze locked on its prey. One wrong move, a 1 millimeter slip, and it's game over. You are working on a human heart, a beautiful, bloody, magnificent heart of flesh. You feel the adrenaline in your veins. You spent those sleepless years in the library cave for exactly these 20 minutes. You stitch the vessel, join the tissue with the precision of a spider, and bam! The rhythm stabilizes. The heart comes back to life. Today, you are the victor of the food chain. The victor. You walk out of the OR feeling as majestic as a T-Rex that just took down a Triceratops. But that glorious vibe doesn't last long. 50 more files to finish and hundreds of forms to fill are waiting for you. You head to the cafeteria for a break. What they call a doctor's lunch is a cold sandwich from the Ice Age that tastes like cardboard, paired with bitter coffee. As you chew that sandwich, you realize being a doctor isn't just about those cool prime moments. It's a cycle, a way of life. Eat, heal, fill out paperwork, sleep for half an hour, if you're lucky, and repeat. As the years pass, your hair turns gray, your reflexes slow down a bit, and sometimes you think to yourself, should I have just been a dentist? But just then, you see a snob you pulled back from the brink of death weeks ago, walking out of the hospital laughing with their family. As they pass, they give you a small nod of thanks, and suddenly, your exhausted batteries refill to the max. You realize once again that you are one of the secret, tired heroes, like killer whales, preventing the extinction of the pod. Humanity. Now, let's get to that big question we asked at the beginning. What is that horrific, unforgivable mistake that can end a doctor's career with the speed of a meteor hitting a T-Rex? Amputating the wrong leg? No. Prescribing the wrong medicine? Not that either. The great catastrophe that turns a doctor's dreams into nightmares and makes them a jester among their colleagues for life is the forgotten gauze. Yes, successfully finishing the surgery, stitching everything up, and accidentally leaving a piece of sponge or gauze inside the patient. When you've been awake for 28 hours and your brain has turned into a swamp of mud, even the most professional hunter can make this mistake. This is the medical version of a cheetah tripping over its own feet just as it's about to catch the gazelle. What follows are massive lawsuits, snobby lawyers circling overhead like vultures, and enough investigation paperwork to fill the Grand Canyon. So, despite all these risks, would you still want to be a doctor for a day? Ruling the oceans and saving lives is a magnificent power, but sometimes a tiny piece of gauze is enough to sink your massive ship. Stay sharp, never Google your symptoms, and keep those scaly hearts beating. Let us know in the comments which profession we should cover next, and don't forget to support us by liking the video. See you soon!